So we got the second look at GDP that came out this morning. The first look, or the first estimate that we got last month was that the U.S. economy shrank by 1.4% in the first quarter of 2022. The revised estimate, they were expecting a 1.3% decline, and they actually went the other way. So we see a 1.5% decline in the first quarter of 2022. So just as a reminder, the definition of a recession is when when GDP gets 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. So we've got one under our belt. We are almost 2/3 of the way through the second quarter. So we won't know what those numbers are. We don't actually know if we're in a recession until sometime in July. But we look at the underlying numbers and see if we can identify a trend. Now, just to put that in perspective, even if we do go into a recession, it doesn't mean that the sky is falling. It just means that we're moving backwards, which really can be expected considering, the state of our country. We were locked down. We flipped the switch of the economy when COVID happened and then flipped it back on. We ended up with all of these supply chain issues. We have a different administration that is very much different than the one that we were used to for the last 4 years, where we had a very friendly business environment. We were energy independent. We were lowering a tax structure. We were seeing employment increase. We were seeing companies thrive. And, now under this new administration, we've just seen things go in a really different direction. So in spite of what we hear today and the negative 1.4% that we knew of before the number came out today, yesterday, the supposedly nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimated that real GDP will grow by 3.1% in 2022. So that tells us if their predictions are right, we won't actually see a recession this year. So just keep in mind, you have to keep separate the idea of recession versus bear market. So the markets tend to try to predict what's happening or what's coming. If a recession is coming or a period of prosperity and growth is coming. So what the market is telling us right now is that it does expect a slowdown in the economy. And, that just makes sense. We've got one of the biggest problems that we have out there is inflation.